Brace yourself, we've arrived. You're standing on the edge of history, and most won't even realize what's unfolding. You have no idea how monumental this week is. From August 3rd to August 10th, something ancient has been set in motion. This isn't coincidence. It's not just another shift in the air. This week was constructed like a labyrinth. And if you're one of the chosen, you're already at the threshold. There's a pattern in this chaos, a blueprint behind the silence. You may not have the words for it yet, but your soul feels the weight of this moment. The atmosphere isn't just dense, it's intentional. Whether you like it or not, this week is watching how you move. This isn't about proving yourself to others. This is about loyalty to your own path. And missing this week means missing a moment you don't get back. This is the kind of week that decides what you carry into the rest of 2025 and what doesn't survive with you. But here's the wild part. There's a reason behind all of this, and most people aren't even aware of it. The pressure you're feeling isn't imagined, it's spiritual gravity. This week doesn't build up. It presses in like something trying to break through. On August 8th, the Lion's Gate portal reaches its peak. Normally, that's significant on its own. But this year, it's not just open, it's active, supercharged, amplifying everything you think, feel, and direct. And then just when you think that's the climax, another energetic spike hits immediately after. No pause, no breath, just acceleration. This creates a kind of compression, a squeeze that sharpens every decision, every thought, every delay. That's why everything feels urgent, uncertain, or too quiet. But that's not all. There's something else about this week, and you need to pay attention, because a battle has just started. Your future isn't chosen later, it's chosen now in the unnoticed moments. Right now, three very different paths are pulling at people, quietly, invisibly, and without permission. And this week, from August 3rd to 10th, your subtle choices are already aligning you with one of them. It won't feel like a huge cosmic fork in the road. It'll feel like a regular moment. Replying to a text you know you shouldn't. Ignoring the uncomfortable thing that keeps surfacing. Convincing yourself that you'll deal with it later. That's where the shift happens, not in grand declarations, but in the quiet permission you give to settle, delay, or numb out. This week's energy doesn't just respond to your thoughts. It multiplies them. It turns casual agreements into energetic contracts. If you avoid something this week, it won't stay in limbo. It becomes part of your path. And for those who are sensitive, that pressure is already rising. Some will slip into autopilot. Tired of the wait, they'll just let life decide for them. They'll say things like, "I'm just going with the flow," without realizing they're not flowing, they're fading. Others will chase feel-good spirituality. They'll dress up their denial in healing words, convincing themselves they're elevating when they're just escaping. But then there's the third group, the ones who sit in the burn of reality, even when it makes their skin crawl. The ones who can't pretend anymore, even if it means standing alone. They'll feel raw, exposed, even doubting themselves. But they'll also start to see things clearer than ever. And once you see clearly, you don't go back. Your future won't announce itself. It waits for you to choose, through what you actually do, not what you intend. While everything around you jerks, you stay steady, and that's your power move. This week isn't asking you to be loud, it's asking you to be rooted. In the middle of all this energetic turbulence, there's a strange power forming around the people who aren't trying to control the chaos, but also aren't running from it. They're simply present, steady, and that steadiness is becoming magnetic. You might notice that others start leaning on you, not because you're preaching or posting or showing off how aligned you are, but because your silence carries weight, because you don't need to be seen to be felt. There's something powerful happening to those who stay calm without collapsing. They're becoming the quiet anchors, the spiritual stabilizers that everyone else will orbit without even realizing it. And here's what's wild. The quieter you become this week, the more opportunities will start to move toward you. People will feel safer around you, ideas will flow through you, and you won't have to chase anything. In a week where everyone else scrambles to be heard, your silence will speak the loudest. This isn't about stillness for the sake of peace. This is about becoming immovable, so the right things know exactly where to find you. Comparison is an observation. It's a spiritual leak. There's a trap waiting for almost everyone this week, and most won't even notice they've fallen into it. It starts quietly. You're feeling good, focused, maybe even aligned, and then it creeps in. The scroll, the glance, the moment of doubt. Suddenly you're looking at someone else's progress, someone else's timeline, someone else's shine, and everything in you begins to question your own. This is the one thing you absolutely cannot allow this week. Letting comparison steal your energy. This week is already energetically precise. What you amplify grows. That includes jealousy, that includes insecurity, that includes self-abandonment, and it happens in the smallest ways. You see someone post about how they're manifesting faster than ever, and your thoughts shift from gratitude to guilt. This week, every time you compare, you're subconsciously declaring that someone else's blueprint is more valid than yours, and the universe listens. It reroutes your focus and delivers results based on the timeline you're tuned into. You can't call in your own future while obsessing over someone else's. You can't meet your destiny while staring at someone else's direction. Your energy this week is your currency. Every time you spend it checking someone else's progress, you delay your own. You dilute your signal. You start to attract situations based on lack instead of presence. So what do you do instead? You root in, you go deeper. You take your cues from silence instead of noise. You let others run fast while you move right. You hold your field so tightly that nothing can seep in that doesn't serve your next level. Because here's the truth. A lot of people are going to look flashy this week. Loud energy, shiny declarations, bold projections, but not everything that sparkles is stable, and not everything that's quiet is small. Some of the most powerful shifts this week will happen in people who barely say a word, who just move different. August 8th isn't new. Every year we talk about the Lion's Gate portal. Every year people say it's the manifestation peak, the 88 code, the gateway of abundance. And while some treat it like a cliché, the truth is, this year it's different. This time it's not just a symbolic doorway, it's a pressure point. This year the portal doesn't just amplify wishes, it tests the frequency they're born from. That means if you're manifesting from fear, from lack, from imitation, it'll fall flat. But if you've done the work to align your vision with who you actually are, this week will carry it further than ever before. Intentions made around this time have a strange stickiness to them. You'll notice that the things you set into motion, consciously or unconsciously, start moving quicker. What you name this week may show up sooner than you expect. But here's the twist. You'll also be tested by what almost looks like your manifestation. Imitations will appear first. False blessings, distractions dressed as progress. You'll be given options that feel close, but not quite. And your clarity will be what decides how far this portal actually takes you. So if you're going to manifest, manifest from your truth, not from trend, not from desperation, but from that still, steady knowing inside you that hasn't wavered even when everything else did. You don't get what you want. You get what you match. And the intensity of this week means matching energy isn't just a vibe, it's a commitment. What you allow into your field, what you focus on, what you repeat. Those aren't just habits right now, they're invitations. So write it down, speak it out loud. Visualize it like it's already rooted, and then act like it's already yours. The portal doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be precise, but as powerful as August 8th is, it's not the final ignition point. And right after it, the full moon. And this isn't just any full moon. This is the energetic aftershock of a cosmic peak, where the dust hasn't even settled from the Lion's Gate. And suddenly, you're given one more massive opportunity to anchor it all in. This is where everything you felt on 8/8 begins to take shape. This moon doesn't just illuminate what's in the way, it evaporates it, but only if you let it. The full moon on August 9th is a kind of energetic magnifier. It amplifies whatever you've just called in, which means if your intention was clear during the portal, the moon adds emotional fuel. If your mind was confused or your desires unclear, it'll surface those blind spots fast, sometimes uncomfortably. But that's the gift. The full moon doesn't just shine, it cleans. If you lean in, this moon can trigger what feels like an overnight shift in your emotional bandwidth. You'll notice something that once drained you suddenly just doesn't anymore. It's like the energetic cord detaches, a weight lifts, and maybe for the first time in months, your energy belongs fully to you again. This is your moment to release one thing that has been silently dragging your energy without you noticing. Not the loud chaos, but the subtle self-sabotage, the quiet thought loop, the grudge, the unfinished conversation you keep having in your head. Let it go here, and you'll feel your signal clean up in real time. And once that signal is clean, the intentions you planted during Lion's Gate get a kind of gravitational boost. They begin to move on their own. You don't need to push, you don't need to force. The momentum is already baked in. If you plant during the portal and release during the moon, you become the in-between where miracles root. This full moon marks the seal. It completes the loop. If you use it right, it won't just feel like things are changing. It'll feel like you have finally caught up to the future that's been waiting for you. Sometimes, the most powerful healing isn't loud. It's the presence that doesn't flinch. Between August 3rd and 10th, there's a secondary assignment moving quietly in the background. Most people won't recognize it, and that's exactly why it matters. Someone in your orbit, maybe a friend, maybe a stranger, maybe someone you haven't spoken to in a while, is going to quietly fall apart. Not dramatically, not publicly, internally. Their foundation will start to crack in a way that doesn't scream for help. But if you're sensitive, you'll feel it. It won't be an obvious cry for attention. It might be a short message, a shift in their energy, a strange timing, a voice note that sounds a little off. And right then, without being asked, you'll know. This isn't about fixing them. It's about showing up with the kind of energy that doesn't get pulled in, that doesn't panic, that doesn't need to say much, but carries enough stillness to anchor someone who's floating off-center. You won't save them. You'll remind them they already know the way. It could be one word, one message, one pause where you don't rush to fill the silence. And suddenly, they shift. Because your presence, grounded, unshaken, undistracted, creates a resonance they've forgotten how to hold. It activates something they didn't know they still had. This is part of the hidden responsibility that comes with being energetically attuned. You're not just here to chase your own alignment. You're here to be alignment when others lose the map. No one's going to give you credit for this. There won't be applause. There won't be a moment where they say you saved me, and that's fine because that's not the point. The point is your alignment this week is medicine, and the people around you will feel it, whether they understand it or not. Your stillness might be someone else's first breath back into their body, and you won't always see the effect, but they'll move differently after, and that's how you'll know. There will be strange, fleeting moments this week that feel like someone flipped a switch inside your body. You're dragging, maybe foggy-headed, maybe overstimulated, and suddenly, for no logical reason, your body feels light again. Your focus sharpens. The fatigue drops off like a coat you forgot you were wearing. It doesn't last long, but it doesn't need to. These are micro-recharges, silent refuels from something far beyond your physical system. And here's what's wild. They don't come when you're trying to rest. They come right after you make a specific aligned choice. You say no when you usually say yes. You tell the truth when you normally would have dodged. You send gratitude instead of resentment. You drop the blame. You hold the boundary. You stop overthinking and move. That's when it hits. Energy follows truth. Fatigue follows compromise. These aren't just random boosts. They're feedback. Signs from the deeper system that you just made a choice in the direction of alignment, and your spirit is rewarding you instantly for it. Don't ignore them. When it happens, pause. Mark it mentally. What just happened before this sudden clarity? What did you just let go of? What did you just finally choose? Because if you track it, you'll find the pattern. And once you find the pattern, you can repeat it. You don't need to wait to be exhausted anymore to get a recharge. You'll know how to unlock them. They're scattered all through the week like secret blessings, but you can only catch them if you slow down just enough to notice. When you stop pushing for energy and start choosing from alignment, the charge returns on its own. This week carries something most people don't expect, a recalibration of how others perceive you, and more importantly, how you perceive yourself. It starts with one moment, a decision, a conversation, a small act of clarity or self-respect that suddenly shifts your orbit, and it's like the world around you adjusts in real time to match it. Maybe someone who always dismissed you suddenly listens with full presence. Maybe a person who once underestimated you starts treating you with silent respect. Or maybe someone reacts with discomfort because they're no longer in resonance with the version of you you've just stepped out of. That's not rejection, that's alignment cleaning itself up. But the biggest shift won't come from others, it'll come from the inside. You'll catch yourself thinking, I'm not that version of me anymore. The identity you've been unconsciously carrying, built around old patterns, outdated roles, borrowed beliefs, it just won't fit. And instead of feeling like you're becoming someone new, it'll feel more like you're remembering who you were the whole time. When the inner identity upgrades, the external world rushes to keep up. So here's the opportunity. When that shift starts, don't shrink from it. Don't deny the promotion the universe is trying to hand you. Step into it. Speak a little bolder, walk a little slower. Let the new level of you be seen, without apology, without armor, without disclaimers. Because the energy this week isn't just changing how people treat you, it's accelerating your credibility, your influence, your presence. And if you ride that wave with integrity, not ego, you'll find that people begin to respond to you differently before you even open your mouth. Perception is a portal. This week you choose whether to walk through it or pretend it's not real. This week doesn't care how healed you are. It only wants to know if you're here to shake the structure or stay in it. Let's not water this down. This isn't the kind of week where you just ride the wave and see what happens. That strategy is useless right now. If you coast, you'll be forgotten. If you hesitate, the moment passes. And if you wait for permission, it won't come. This is the kind of week where reality is listening closely, watching for boldness, for conviction, for presence, not perfection, not politeness, just presence. The systems in your life, internal and external, are either bending toward your truth or away from it right now. That includes relationships, goals, conversations, jobs, choices. There's no neutral space left. You're either calibrating into your future or silently shrinking to preserve your past. And this week it will expose exactly which one you're doing. You can't fake your way through this. You either show up loud in your integrity or you become background noise in your own life. This is not the time to be digestible, it's the time to be undeniable. And don't confuse sacred selfishness with ego. Sacred selfishness is when you honor your energy as a resource the universe needs you to protect. It's not about ignoring others, it's about not abandoning yourself for them. This week visibility equals velocity. The more fully you show up, not as a persona, not as a performance, but as the actual you, the faster the energy around you will organize itself in your favor, because this is the kind of cosmic window that chooses people who move. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't built to echo someone else's truth. And the portal doesn't respond to hesitation, it responds to people who show up as if the future is already listening. So ask yourself, if you were already chosen, already aligned, already becoming the version of yourself that you dream of, how would you act this week? What would you say? What would you walk away from without looking back? The watchers, the helpers, the ones who've been waiting for a green light. This is the green light, but only if you treat it that way. If you play small this week, you'll be invisible. If you show up fully, the universe will amplify you. This is not a week to intellectualize your potential. This is the week to activate it. Say the thing, do the thing, send the message, make the move. Not because you feel ready, but because you finally realized readiness was never going to knock first. This isn't the week to survive. It's the week to disrupt, to rise, to become. Don't just journal your way through it. Don't just ground yourself and wait. Stand up, speak out, move forward, shake the dust off your old identity, and walk like you were meant to be seen. Be so fiercely aligned with your direction that the rest of your life has no option but to shift with you. This week wasn't designed to comfort you. It was built to reveal you. The only real question is, will you show up? If you're still here, thank you. If this message resonated with you, subscribe for more content that meets you where you are and dares you to rise. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. Your words might be the spark someone else needs. Until next time, take care and keep walking forward.